This brother can play. He's fiery. He goes after it. He's athletic. He's fast. He'll get to the basket.
He is so slept on nowadays, Stephen A. Because, look, there are all these sensational players in the league and young players who are right out the gate like, oh my God, is that an MVP? Luka and Zion and these guys. And it's just such a deep and great league. De'Aaron Fox has a chance to be just about as good as anyone. And people don't see him that way because he's always been slept on.
In a league like the NBA or even any sport in general, you are bound to have small market teams. I mean, the fact is, basketball is just more a part of culture in certain places compared to others. Cities like LA, New York, or even Miami have basketball engraved in what they do, but other teams like the Sacramento Kings, well, not so much. Even if you are a great player, you can become criminally underrated in the modern day NBA for a few reasons, but I believe there is one star player that is just being disrespected at this point because he is so underrated in today's league. That player being De'Aaron Fox, and today we will be discussing exactly why Fox is the most underrated player in the NBA and the fact that his future with the Kings may not be very bright because of this. But before we get into today's video, let me just say if you end up enjoying the content, it would be absolutely clutch if you hit that like button below and subscribe because it really does help the channel in a big way. We're out here posting a banger video every other day at 5 p.m. Central, and I can guarantee you will not want to miss any of my videos if you enjoy this one. But with that being said, let's just take a deep dive into De'Aaron Fox's career so far, as well as what has led him to the exact position of him being the most underrated player in the NBA and exactly how he can change it. I think it's really funny how a small market team can affect a player, or a player can affect a small market team in completely different ways. I mean, look at someone like LaMelo Ball, someone with so much hype around him that he's actually lived up to so far, and not only has made a name for himself, but has made the Charlotte Hornets relevant after years and years of being a team that no one really watched or cared about except for their true fans. But for other teams and players like De'Aaron Fox, it's the other way around. Even if you have the skill to be a star in the league, if you don't have the hype to go with it, you're going to be under the radar unless you are in the spotlight of a large market team. And well, this is exactly what is happening to the Kings star guard De'Aaron Fox as we speak. I mean, just the other night, this man took over the game in the fourth quarter against the Wizards and hit a game winner to get the W. But unless you watched the game, you probably didn't know that. That's because most social media pages like Bleacher Report or House of Highlights only cared about the fact that LeBron dapped up LaMelo at the end of their game. See what I mean here? This is just getting disrespectful for Fox and this Kings team in general. No, although I believe Fox is the most underrated player or underappreciated player in the league, which I will be discussing in a bit, the Kings team as a whole honestly gets the least amount of recognition compared to everyone else. Look at another player on this team in Tyrese Halliburton, someone who was supposed to be somewhat of a project coming into the league, but has been in and out of the top 3 candidates for Rookie of the Year this season. And how many actual highlights from him do we see on social media? Literally none after the first couple of games that he balled out in. Look, the point is, I could talk about this broad topic and how unfair it is for the whole video, so I'll just save that for another time. But with that being said, let's just get right into De'Aaron Fox, the Kings, and exactly why I believe he is one of the most underrated players in the NBA and under the radar. Let me make this clear. For the most part, I believe that Fox is respected as one of the top guards in the league, and the Kings gave him $163 million, which obviously means he is respected and valued by them. But what I'm talking about here is the media and the fans, and I want to shine a light on exactly what Fox has been doing for this Kings team and what the future holds for him. At the time of making this video, the Sacramento Kings are currently ranked at the 12th seed in the West with a record of 17-24 and are definitely within reach of the playoffs if they pull ahead of a couple more teams. The fact that this Kings team is even close to making the playoffs in itself shows how valuable Fox is and how much of an impact he really has. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel as though Fox is undeniably the #1 option on this team, and he is carrying to the Kings to the playoffs and getting little to no recognition, and that in itself just shows how underrated he truly is. If you didn't know, the Kings haven't made the playoffs since the 2005-2006 season, which is absolutely insane to me, and what proves this point even more is the fact that this team hasn't even made any big additions since drafting Fox, which shows that his improvements over the years is a key reason why this Kings team is now in the position to make a playoffs push. The stats don't lie about the progression of Fox, because it is clear that he is getting better in almost all categories relevant to guards every single year. But this is honestly pretty weird to me, because I at least feel like Fox has gotten the most hype in his beginning years and has slowly gotten less and less as the years go on. Could this be because of the fact that people were just amazed by the pure speed and quickness that he brought into the league right when he came in? Maybe, but there are also many reasons why this could be the case. But back to the stats though, because I believe this is truly what tells the story and shows that De'Aaron Fox is not given the respect, hype, or anything else along those lines that he actually deserves. The progression of Fox has just been insane in itself. His rookie year, he only averaged 12 points, 4 assists, and a steal, but he has literally gotten significantly better every single year. And now, De'Aaron Fox is averaging 24 points, 8 assists, and 2 steals up until recent stretch where he hasn't been swiping that much on defense. In my eyes, if there is any point guard in the league putting up these numbers, they should be an all-star, and there is no question about it. And yeah, I think that Fox definitely got snubbed this year. When I look at a guard and decide whether they are an all-star or just a star player in general, there is one thing I look at, that thing being efficiency. It's no secret that the best guards in the league are the ones who are smart with the ball and can shoot well while also dishing to their teammates without turning it over. Looking into this video topic more, I found myself looking at the efficiency ratings and standings of the guards this year, and after seeing this, it was clear that De'Aaron Fox is in fact playing at the same level as the best guards in the league, but not getting even close to the same amount of recognition as the stars in today's NBA. If you just look at this chart, there is a clear gap in efficiency between superstar guards and just star guards. I think that Trae Young has the efficiency of a star guard, but he hasn't made the full leap in other aspects. But at number 5, he is the point in between superstar guards and regular guards in my eyes. Obviously above Trae Young, you have the best of the best in the league in Dame, Luka, Curry, and Kyrie, who without question are the best guards in the league. But below the number 5 spot is where things begin to get interesting to say the least. From spot 6 on this chart all the way down to 9, their efficiency of these guards are pretty much all the same, which means that they can all shoot the ball well, don't have many turnovers, and overall are great and reliable for their team when they have the ball in their hand. But notice who exactly is on this list. Chris Paul, Ben Simmons, De'Aaron Fox, and Mike Conley. When I say those names, do you notice what all these players have in common except Fox? Well, if you didn't know, Simmons, Paul, and Conley were all All-Stars this year and they got recognized for their great play this season. And this is exactly where the issue of Fox and the decision he has to make comes in. The 3 guards I mentioned were all selected not because they were just great players, but they were on winning teams this year. Ben Simmons on the Sixers, who are at the top of the East, Mike Conley on the Jazz, who are on top of the West, and Chris Paul, who has made it clear that any team he goes to gets better significantly. Now don't get me wrong here, De'Aaron Fox makes the Kings a lot better like I said, and I don't think they are that bad because of him at all. I believe that this is 100% all on the Kings, and if Fox wants to show everyone who he truly is, he unfortunately will have to leave this team in the future to get the credit he deserves and win at the highest level. I like the Kings and what they have, but honestly they're in a pretty similar boat to my Timberwolves. A team with so much potential, and there are just a few pieces from taking a leap, but those pieces just haven't been found yet. The Kings and Wolves both have amazing young players. I mean, the Kings have their front court of Halliburton and Fox, and the Wolves have Towns and Edwards, but making a team around one star in the small market can take a long time, and stars like Towns or maybe even Fox at some point will get frustrated and eventually want out, because you can only take losing at the worst level for so long. And as much as star players like this like their team, they know that they are better than their team and their team is getting nowhere, so they're gonna leave and win if they can. I've said it so many times, but at the end of the day, only having one star can't win you games, which is why all the small market teams that can't get multiple stars struggle so much. Because really, if you're a small market team, you can only trade or draft stars when you're a team like the Kings, which is exactly what makes this such a long process to make a good team to make it to the playoffs. To say the least, it will be very interesting to see how the career of De'Aaron Fox plays out, because he already got his bag for $163 million over 5 years. The question now is if he can become even better and finally become one of the top guards in the league who actually gets the credit they deserve. It's clear the team he is on is the issue, and I believe if the Kings continue to lose over the next few years, we could very well see Fox walk and join a contender, because honestly at this point in the league, it is very rare for a star to stay with a team their whole career, especially if they are losing one. I really do want the best for Fox, and in my eyes, he is one of the best point guards in the league with so much upside, it is insane. And if he just added a knockdown 3-ball to his game, he would instantly be up there with the top of the list players that I mentioned earlier. But I guess only time will tell how he ends up progressing. Thank you all so much for tuning into this video. Let me know down below if there is a player that you would like to see me cover that is just underrated in this league. I think De'Aaron Fox is the best example of this, but let me know down below if you guys have any other ideas. If you did enjoy, I would highly recommend liking this video as well as subscribing if you're new and joining the Woods crew, because let me just say we have a bunch of banger videos coming out this week and you will not want to miss a single one of them. I don't usually plug my IG, but if you're still tuning in, go check it out at Woods Hoops. It's always linked below. But regardless, I really appreciate all you guys still watching. Catch y'all in the next one. Woods out.